Millions of travelers are about to get caught off guard. Starting in 2026, airports around the world, including the US, will quietly roll out some of the biggest rule changes we've seen in decades. From biometric face scans to new digital passports, these updates will completely reshape how you fly. If you walk into the airport next year unprepared, you could be stuck in longer lines, miss your flight, or get denied boarding over rules you didn't even know existed. So, today we're breaking down the 5 new airport rules of 2026 that will change how you travel forever. And more importantly, what to do right now to stay one step ahead. Let's start with the one change that will literally scan your face before you even reach the gate. Remember the days of handing your passport to an officer and getting that satisfying stamp? Well, those days are numbered. In 2026, airports across the US, Europe, and Asia will move toward a fully biometric system. That means your face and fingerprints will replace traditional documents for everything, from check-in to boarding to customs. The system is already being tested in places like Atlanta, Dallas, and London. In Heathrow, you walk up to a camera, it recognizes you in seconds, and your boarding pass appears automatically. Sounds futuristic until you realize there's no way to opt out in many airports. If you're not comfortable with being scanned or photographed, you'll have to join a slower manual verification line. And that line is expected to grow dramatically once these systems become mandatory. The new EES system in Europe will also record exactly when you enter and leave the EU. If you thought carry-on rules couldn't get worse, think again. Starting in 2026, multiple airlines are set to enforce new bag size and weight restrictions. Some are introducing digital bag scanners at check-in, automatically rejecting oversized carry-ons before you even reach the gate. Airlines like Ryanair, EasyJet, and a few US low-cost carriers are already testing this. And the next phase, charging passengers to use the overhead bins. Yes, you heard that right. Paying for space above your seat could become as normal as paying for the seat itself. Airlines argue it's about boarding efficiency, but let's be honest, it's about revenue. Here's the part travelers miss. Even full-service airlines are rumored to adopt personal item-only fare options next year. That means the bag you once carried for free could cost you $40 to $80 more per flight. Smart move. Invest in a small, structured undereat bag that meets personal item dimensions, and use compressible cubes to maximize space. Also, weigh your carry-on before you leave home. Some airlines now enforce 15-pound limits for overhead luggage. Don't let your vacation start with an argument at the gate. Airport security is about to feel very different, and for once, that might actually be a good thing. In 2026, TSA and airports across Europe are rolling out next-generation CT scanners. These advanced machines can analyze the contents of your bag in 3D, which means no more taking out laptops, liquids, or toiletries in many locations. Yep, the infamous 3.4-ounce liquid rule is on its last legs. Several airports in the UK and EU are already phasing it out, and TSA is testing similar systems at major US hubs right now. That said, don't get too comfortable just yet. Not every airport will upgrade at the same pace, so depending on where you fly, you might still need to remove your liquids and electronics. Another quiet change, shoe removal. The new scanners will be able to detect what's inside footwear, allowing most travelers to keep their shoes on during screening by 2026. Get ready because your passport and boarding pass are about to merge. By 2026, the U.S. State Department will complete the rollout of next-gen e-passports. These digital-ready passports will include upgraded chips compatible with biometric systems and secure digital credentials that can live on your smartphone. In plain English, your phone could become your passport. Several airlines, including Delta, United, and British Airways, are already testing digital travel credentials. They verify your identity using facial recognition, so you can board without showing a single document. It's convenient but also risky. Lose your phone mid-trip and your digital ID goes with it. You could find yourself stranded without proof of citizenship. Smart move. Always carry your physical passport, even if you're using digital boarding. Keep paper backups of key documents and store a photo of your passport info page in a locked notes folder on your phone. Technology is great until your battery dies right before customs. Here's a rule change that hits where it hurts: your wallet. Starting in 2026, airports and airlines will quietly increase passenger taxes and environmental search charges. You'll see them disguised as facility fees, fuel recovery, or green aviation levies. The UK has already confirmed an air passenger duty increase in 2026, and several EU nations are expected to follow. Experts predict similar adjustments will arrive in the US as airports modernize infrastructure. The tricky part: these costs are baked into your ticket, meaning you might not even realize you're paying more. Smart move. When comparing flights, check the taxes and fees breakdown on the checkout page and use airline credit cards that offer travel statement credits or fee reimbursements. Also, keep an eye on airport lounge access cards that include tax offsets or free checked bags. A few small adjustments can save hundreds each year. Air travel is changing faster than ever. In just a few months, airports will look and feel completely different. From biometric gates and digital passports to AI security lanes and new carry-on restrictions. But here's the good news. If you understand these new rules before everyone else, you'll skip the confusion, save money, and fly like an insider. So before your next trip, check your passport expiration date, update your travel apps, and keep watching JetTet Genius for the latest insider airport updates that airlines definitely won't tell you. Because in 2026, knowledge will be your boarding pass. Standing in the immigration line is honestly one of the most nerve-wracking parts of travel. No matter how many times you've done it, there's always that little voice in your head saying, "What if I say the wrong thing?" Customs and immigration officers can seem intimidating. Their job is to decide if you can enter the country or not. And you know, one wrong answer, even an innocent mistake, can suddenly turn a smooth vacation into a long interrogation. But here's the good news. Once you understand why they ask these questions, you'll see that most of them are actually pretty simple if you know how to answer them. So, today we're breaking down 10 tricky customs and immigration questions, what they're really asking, what not to say, and the smart way to answer confidently every time. What's the purpose of your visit? This is always the first question, and it sets the tone for your entire entry interview. They're not making small talk. They're verifying your story. Your answer must match your visa type exactly. If you're there on a tourist visa, just say something simple like, "I'm here on vacation for 2 weeks." Do not start explaining that you might check out a few business meetings. Even one vague word like work can raise red flags. Keep your tone friendly and calm. They're not looking for details. They're looking for confidence and consistency. How long do you plan to stay? This one sounds innocent, but it's really designed to test your planning. Officers want to make sure you actually intend to leave when you say you will. If you're staying for 2 weeks, just say 2 weeks. If your trip is flexible, still pick a number and stick to it. Don't say things like, "I'm not sure yet," or "maybe longer." Uncertainty makes them wonder if you plan to overstay your visa. And here's a pro tip. Have your return ticket handy, either printed or pulled up on your phone. It proves you already plan to go home, and that instantly earns trust. Where will you be staying? They want to know you're not just wandering around aimlessly. A clear, confident answer shows you're a responsible traveler. If you're staying with family or friends, just say, "I'll be staying with my sister in Miami." If it's a hotel, give the name and city. No need for the full street address unless they ask. Even if your trip is flexible, have at least your first few nights booked and ready to show. Saying, "I'm still deciding," makes you sound unprepared. So, do you have a return ticket? This is honestly the silent make or break act question. It tells them everything they need to know about your intentions. Having proof of onward travel, even if it's just a refundable or flexible ticket, instantly removes suspicion. If your plans are still open, it's a good idea to book a refundable return ticket just to show as proof. You can always change it later, but it gives immigration something tangible to verify. Never say, "I'll buy my ticket later." That's honestly one of the fastest ways to trigger a secondary inspection. What do you do for work? Now, this question isn't about judging your career. It's really about financial stability. They want to make sure you can support yourself while abroad and aren't secretly looking for a job in their country. So, answer clearly and confidently. "I'm retired," or "I work in finance," or "I own a small business." If you're between jobs, that's totally fine. Just be ready to explain briefly how you're paying for your trip. You might mention savings, a pension, or support from a family member. What they're really checking for is reassurance that you're not planning to work illegally or run out of money while visiting. How much money are you carrying? This one often catches people off guard. They're not trying to tax you. They're checking for smuggling or money laundering. Most countries allow up to $10,000 in undeclared cash. Anything above that must be declared when you enter, but honestly, they might also be assessing if you can afford your stay. You don't need to pull out stacks of bills. Just explain that you have credit cards, a debit card, and enough funds to cover your visit. If you're ever asked for proof, a printed bank statement or a digital balance screenshot usually does the trick. Did you pack your own bags? This one feels obvious, but it's a critical security question. They're checking whether anyone could have slipped something into your luggage. Always say, "Yes, I packed my bags myself." If someone helped you, just be honest and explain who and how. They don't want a life story. They want to know you're aware of your belongings. A calm, confident, "Yes, I packed everything myself," keeps the process moving fast. Are you traveling alone? This question helps them build your travel story. They want to know who you're with and if the story makes sense. If you're traveling with family, say so clearly. "I'm traveling with my wife and daughter." If you're alone, that's perfectly fine. Just say it simply. Avoid being vague. Officers look for consistency between your answers and your travel documents. If your story matches your ticket, your lodging, and your demeanor, you'll be through the line in seconds. Do you have family or friends in this country? This can be a tricky one if you're visiting relatives. It's perfectly fine to say yes, but make it clear you're there to visit, not to move in. For example, "Yes, my son lives in Toronto and I'm visiting him for 2 weeks." If asked, be ready with their name, address, or phone number. It helps prove your story checks out. And remember, the key is to sound relaxed and factual, not like you're reciting a script. Do you have anything to declare? This is where honestly a lot of travelers slip up. Many people think this only applies to expensive electronics or alcohol. But actually, it can include food, souvenirs, or even medication. Always check the rules of your destination before your flight. If you're unsure, it's really safer to declare it. Saying, "I'm not sure if this needs to be declared," shows honesty and awareness. Two qualities officers immediately respect. Hiding something, even by accident, can lead to fines, confiscation, or worse, a travel ban. Bonus question: have you visited here before? They already know the answer. They're just testing your honesty. Your passport and their computer screen tell them everything, so just be upfront. "Yes, I visited last summer for a week." If you can't recall the exact date, just say around June or earlier this year. It's not about precision, it's about matching their data. The best travelers aren't the ones who memorize answers. They're the ones who stay calm, consistent, and confident. Immigration officers are trained to detect stress and hesitation. If your answers flow naturally and match your documents, you'll glide through while everyone else fumbles for words. And if you ever want a shortcut to knowing entry rules before your trip, check the government site of the country you're visiting, or trusted resources like ivvisa.com for updated info. So, next time you find yourself walking up to that immigration booth, remember it's not an interrogation, it's a conversation. You don't need to know every law or regulation. You just need to sound like a traveler who knows exactly why they're there and when they're leaving. Answer with confidence. Stay calm, and you'll be through faster than you can say passport. Please, if you found this guide helpful, make sure to subscribe to Immigration Updates for more insider airport secrets and travel hacks. Because the smartest travelers don't just pack light, they pack knowledge. Safe travels, and I'll see you in the next.